Hello and welcome back to the Mrs. Money Hacker YouTube channel. I'm Megan from Mrs. Money Hacker, and today we're going to be going through how you can earn over 300 euro in a year from using two credit cards and a low fee bank account. So just as a bit of a preamble on this one, you may be, following other personal finance blogs in the States and in Canada where they're talking about all of these credit card hacks and things like that. For anyone that's in Ireland that has looked to try and mimic some of these, it can be quite hard because there are very limited high reward cards here in Ireland. As a bit of a way to make ourselves feel a bit better about the lack of options, there is a bit of backstory there. So in the States and in Canada, the big credit card companies, they actually charge merchants 2% per transaction as a swipe fee. And this ends up being transferred through to the consumer. So they've actually done studies on this, and they figure that it's costing consumers about $400 per household per year to cover the cost of these additional fees that are kind of built into the goods and services that you're buying. And it's actually becoming one of the biggest expenses that companies have to pay. It's like the third highest expense next to payroll and healthcare in the States. So living in the EU, we have the protection of the European Union, and they've actually lobbied and gotten this down with the exact same companies. The credit card companies are only allowed to charge 0.3% per transaction on credit card purchases here, as well as 0.2% per debit card transaction. So that's just a little pointer in terms of making yourself feel a bit better that we can't maximize all of the bonuses that they advertise on all these other personal finance blogs that aren't in Ireland. But on to what we can do here. So I was actually on a thread on a forum recently, and they were talking about different options available here in Ireland, and I've done a bit of analysis on what I think is the optimal solution that's going to be kind of the simplest approach, but also the most attainable and the easiest to implement. So without further ado, I'll also just kind of highlight some key considerations. So this approach shouldn't be followed by anyone that has credit or stays in credit. If you have a credit card that you can't pay off in full every month, this approach isn't for you. If you're going to go into credit and stay in credit, you will be charged interest rates, and that's not will completely offset any of the rewards cash that we're talking about here. So you need to be able to pay off your credit card in full every month in order to pull this off so that you don't incur any interest. Another thing just to note is in our analysis that I'm going to go through here, my husband and I have one joint bank account, and I know that doesn't really suit everyone. You can pull this off without that. The reason why we're doing that is because it just simplifies our expense tracking, and it reduces our bank fees. You can opt for, fee-free banking, like with banks like KBC, and I'll go into why we aren't using fee-free banking later on in the post. The approach we're taking on this one is that I'm going to apply for both of the new credit cards under my name and then add my husband as a additional card holder. So it's not a joint application, it's just adding him on as an additional user. So we'll each have our own card that we can use when we go out. It will take a little bit of effort just to make sure that we're using the right card at the right shops to get the cash rewards. And also keeping our expenses down on the low fee bank account. It is kind of a pay per transaction, pay per direct debit type of account. So we need to make sure that we're going to be using the credit cards for every purchase that we possibly can, while also making sure we pay it off in full every month. So I'm not going to go through all of the features of each of these cards. I'm just going to highlight the two that are the most profitable, I suppose. If you want to read more about the other cash offers or other card options, if these don't suit you and you don't shop at these specific shops that offer the highest rewards. You can check out the full details in the blog post below. But at a high level, we're going to look at the On Post credit card and the Avant credit card. So the On Post credit card offers 5% cash back at Lidl, which is where the bulk of the cashback rewards is going to come from for us. We do all of our grocery shopping, or vast majority of our grocery shopping at Lidl, so this makes the most sense for us. The Avant card then offers 1.25% cash back per month on shopping and entertainment, and that includes online. You're shopping for groceries in department stores, clothes, shoe shops, chemists, hardware, electrical, petrol stations, restaurants, concert tickets, and bars and pubs. So it doesn't include travel, gambling, healthcare, and electricity and gas bills. The other thing I should mention on the On Post card is that there's no cap. So you get 5% cash back no matter what you spend at Lidl throughout the year. And on the Avant card, there is a cap. You can only earn a maximum of €12 per month or 144 per year. So there is a limitation on what you can get in cash back on that card. So what does this mean? What do you need to spend in order to get the over 300 in savings? You need to be spending €450 a month in Lidl, and that will result in €270 cash back at the end of the year. You get it paid every month as you accumulate it, but in total at the end of the year it'll amount to 270. And if you spend $960 per month on all of the other categories on the Avant card, where you're earning 1.25%, that results in 144 cash back at the end of the year. So the two of them combined comes out to 414 in cash back. Then you have to offset the fees that you're paying, so that each credit card has a €30 stamp duty, so that's €60 for the two cards, and whatever your bank fees are. So we're opting for switching over to the AIB current account. It is basically the lowest that's going to suit our needs and the approach that we're planning to take. So it's about $150 a month in bank fees, so it's $450 every quarter, and that comes to about $18 per year in base fees. That's the monthly maintenance fees, and then you are charged per transaction. So I think it's 20 cents per direct debit and standing order, I believe. It's 35 cents per ATM withdrawal. So if you can really keep those down, we're averaging about 5 to 6 direct debits per month and 1 to 2 ATM withdrawals per month. That's going to keep, and we're planning on putting all of the other expenses, all of the other transactions on the two credit cards. So we're literally just going to, get paid, transfer the money over, pay off the amount from the previous month, and continue on from there. So that should keep our bank fees down to about $33 for the year, which is going to bring the total fees for the two credit cards, stamp duties, and the bank fees to $93 for the year, which offsets against the $414, and that brings us to about $321 in cash back net of fees at the end of the year. So some people might be saying, why aren't you opting for the fee-free bank accounts and getting that extra €30? We did look at a number of options. So KBC is one example. There's other online options like N26 and things like that. ESB, I think, or EBS is one of the other ones. For our own purposes, they weren't really going to suit us, because the major downfall of these kind of online presence banks is that you can't deposit or withdraw cash in branch. And over the years, we have had instances where we needed to withdraw large sums for various services or things like that, or to even deposit large sums if we sold a car, cash, or if we got gifts for our wedding and things like that. So you can't really plan for when you're going to get sums of cash, and if you don't have anywhere to deposit it, then it can be a problem. You end up, you can spend it, but we like to kind of deposit it so we're not tempted to just have it at hand and have the risk of carrying around cash. So the other major downside for us with KBC was the inability to extract expenses in detail. So they don't have like a extract to Excel option, which meant that for every time I was doing up the expenses, we needed to basically copy and paste the transactions page by page by page by page. I think you could only get like 25 transactions per page or something like that. So we typically do our expenses once every 4 to 6 months. And so, it was like copying and pasting about 10 pages into an Excel sheet and formatting it so that it could be imported into our tool. So that was a major drawback, which, we're happy to pay the €33 to be able to have those features in a bricks and mortar bank, I suppose. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. That's kind of the most straightforward and profitable option that I came across. There are obviously a number of other rewards cards and options that are available on the market that could suit different, if you don't shop at Lidl, if you shop at Tesco instead, there's other cards that kind of promote that shop and things like that. So do check out the blog. I have a number of other options on there. Including another kind of more detailed hack where you're offsetting one card against the other and like duplicating the rewards essentially. So do check that out below if you're interested. And if you have any other credit card hacks that I haven't mentioned or it's not in the blog, please do let me know in the comments below and I'd love to hear from you. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe and I'll talk to you again soon. Thanks. Bye.